Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen. Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the wretched one. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the most merciful. وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا. By the oath of those angels who stand in rows. فَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا. Then those who drive sharply. فَالتَّالِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا. And by those who recite the reminder. إِنَّ إِلَهَكُمْ لَوَاحِدٌ. Without doubt, your ilah is but one ilah. رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَرَبُّ الْمَشَارِقِ. He is the Rabb of the heavens and the earth and whatever is in between the two. And He is the Rabb of the points of sun's rising. إِنَّا زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِزِينَةِ الْكَوَاكِبِ. Surely we have decorated the sky of this world with the adornment of the stars. وَحِفْظًا مِّن كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ مَارِدٍ. And as a protection from every rebellious shaitan. لَا يَسَّمَّعُونَ إِلَى الْمَلَإِ الْأَعْلَى. They cannot eavesdrop to listen secretly to those angels of the upper heights, upper levels. وَيُقْذَفُونَ مِن كُلِّ جَانِبٍ. And they are pelted from every direction. دُحُورًا. Repelled. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ وَاصِبٌ. And for them is eternal punishment. إِلَّا مَنْ خَطِفَ الْخَطْفَةَ فَأَتْبَعَهُ شِهَابٌ ثَاقِبٌ. Except for the one who snatches something, then a flaming spark pursues him. We have completed Surah Yasin, Alhamdulillah, last week. Surah Yasin's topic and main mazmoon was Tawheed, Risalat and Akhirat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finished off on Ba'ath Ba'd al-Maut, reminding us of resurrection and that Allah has the power to resurrect each and every single human being. Nothing is mushkil and hard for Him. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying the same mazameen but in a different way in this Surah As-Saffat. Surah As-Saffat is also a Makki surah. It has 182 ayat and 5 rukus. It starts off with some qassams regarding the malaika who are busy in worshipping Allah and in fulfilling the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in glorifying and praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that Malaika are not to be worshipped. They worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They themselves worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then goes on to mention the jinns. Some people worship jinnat, shaitan, devil worshippers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if the malaika are not to be worshipped, then how can the devils be worshipped? And they are lower than the malaika, the angels. Angels stay in the high up in the heavens. And these shayateen and jinns, they attempt to go up there and eavesdrop on something, and they are not allowed above the Asman-e-Dunya, the heaven of this world. So they can't go up. They are pelted with shihab-e-thaqib, shooting stars that they call it in today's language, and they are repelled from there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then goes on to say that after taking these qassams, Allah said, Inna ilahakum lawahid. Your Rabb, your Ilah and Ma'bud is but one Ilah. And He is Rabbus Samawati wal Ard, wa ma baynahuma, wa Rabbul Mashariq. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna zayyanna as-samaa ad-dunya bi zinatin al-kawakib. Mentioned some subject of this type along this line. Thereafter, when this ruku finishes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Hashr, that Uhshurul ladina zalamu wa azwajahum wa ma kanu ya'buduna min dunillah fahduhum ila siratil jahim. Qiyamah is coming, and all these people will be resurrected and gathered. The jinns will be there as well. The malaika will be there as well. And these people who are rebellious, the mushrikeen of Makkah, they will be there as well. Allah Pak mentions some scenarios, mentions some of their bad habits about shirk. And إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا إِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّا لِتَارِكُوا آلِهَتِنَا لِشَاعِرٍ مَجْنُونَ. When they were told La ilaha illallah, they would be haughty and proud. We are not going to leave our gods for a Sha'ir Majnoon. They call Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Sha'ir Majnoon. Allah said, بَلْ جَاءَ بِالْحَقِّ وَصَدَّقَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِنَّكُمْ لَذَائِقُ الْعَذَابِ الْأَلِيمِ وَمَا تُجْزَوْنَ إِلَّا مَا كُنتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ إِلَّا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Allah mentions عِبَادَ اللَّهِ الْمُخْلَصِينَ, their Jannah. فواكه وهم مكرمون في جنات النعيم على سرر متقابلين يطاف عليهم بكأس من معين. Then Allah mentioned some scenario about the people in Jannah remembering some of their evil companions who had tried to mislead them, and they were protected. Allah Pak said, they will see, where is so and so person? And they will see that he is in the far corner of Jahannam, and they will say, you very nearly misled me as well. Allah narrates that conversation. قال تالله إن كدت لتردين ولولا نعمة ربي لكنت من المحضرين أفما نحن بميتين. And he said, لمثل هذا فليعمل العاملون. Allah said, أذلك خير نزلا أم شجرة الزقوم. Is Jannah better or Shajara Zaqqum better? Then Allah mentions a little bit about Akhirat, and this ruku comes to a close. Allah said, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا فِيهِمْ مُنزِلِينَ فَانظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُنزَلِينَ. We did send messengers among them. Now see, how was the fate of those who were warned but did not heed to the warning. So, since Allah mentioned وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا فِيهِمْ مُنزِلِينَ, then Allah starts mentioning some of the Rasuls. From Nuh alayhi salam, وَلَقَدْ نَادَانَا نُوحٌ فَلَنِعْمَ الْمُجِيبُونَ. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam, وَإِنَّ مِنْ شِيَعَتِهِ لَإِبْرَاهِيمَ. And a special more emphasis on the case of Zabah of Ismail alayhi salam. And then mentioning Harun alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Harun alayhi salam, Ilyas alayhi salam, Lut alayhi salam. And after mentioning these, وَإِنَّ يُونُسَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ, Yunus alayhi salam, that this is how we send Rasuls, and this is how we deal with the unjust and the oppressors, Zalimeen, and you know what their fate was. Allah mentions their fate, and then towards the end, Allah again focuses on Malaika, وَإِنَّا لَنَحْنُ الصَّافُونَ. The surah started with وَالصَّافَّاتِ. So again, وَإِنَّا لَنَحْنُ الصَّافُونَ وَإِنَّا لَنَحْنُ الْمُسَبِّحُونَ وَإِنْ كَانُوا لَيَقُولُونَ لَوْ أَنَّ عِنْدَنَا ذِكْرًا مِنَ الْأَوَّلِينَ لَكُنَّا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ الْمُخْلَصِينَ فَإِنَّكُمْ وَمَا تَعْبُدُونَ مَا أَنْتُمْ عَلَيْهِ بِفَاتِنِينَ إِلَّا مَنْ هُوَ صَالِ الْجَحِيمِ. Malaika stand in rows. وَمَا مِنَّا إِلَّا لَهُ مَقَامٌ مَعْلُومٌ. Every angel has a particular ranking. So he only keeps himself busy in that work which is designated for him. For example, Jibreel alayhi salam's duty was to bring wahi. Now Jibreel alayhi salam cannot bring rain. Jibreel alayhi salam cannot grow crops. Mikail alayhi salam, his duty is to bring rain and look after the crops and the vegetation and fruit and rizq. So he can't bring the wahi. Israfil alayhi salam's duty is to blow the trumpet. He can't do any other stuff. Israel alayhi salam's duty is to extract the souls. He can't do any other duties. Rizwan's duty is to look after Jannah. Malik's duty is to look after Jahannam. So this is maqam ma'loom. And in the heavens, every malaik, every angel has a duty. Some are standing, some are in ruku, some are in sujood. So they busy themselves in the duty which Allah Pak has given them. And then Allah mentions that don't worship the malaika, worship the one who created these malaika, and that is Inna ilahakum lawahid Rabbus samawati wal ard wa ma bainahuma wa Rabbul mashariq. And then Allah said, وَلَقَدْ سَبَقَتْ كَلِمَتُنَا لِعِبَادِنَا الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِنَّهُمْ لَهُمُ الْمَنْصُورُونَ. We have said this to our Rasools, that you will be the victorious. Victory does not mean that you win and the other lose. Victory means victory in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes this will be in this dunya, like Musa alayhi salam being saved from Fir'aun and Fir'aun being drowned. This is victory which was seen. So many Rasul, they gain this type of victory. Innahum lahumul mansurun. Allah said, Inna lanansuru rusulana walladhina amanu fil hayati dunya. And Allah said, وَكَانَ حَقًّا عَلَيْنَا نَصْرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So Allah's nusrat comes in various ways. Sometimes there are cases when some prophet are, for example, murdered, like Yahya alayhi salam, Zakaria alayhi salam. But then nusrat is in other ways. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then sent Bukht Nassar, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's azab came upon those who murdered Zakaria alayhi salam and Yahya alayhi salam. And finally, Allah's word and this Yarisuha ibadiyya salihun came into being. So Allah said, وَلَقَدْ سَبَقَتْ كَلِمَتُنَا لِعِبَادِنَا الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِنَّهُمْ لَهُمُ الْمَنْصُورُونَ وَإِنَّ جُنْدَنَا لَهُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ. Then said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ حَتَّى حِينٍ وَأَبْصِرْهُمْ فَسَوْفَ يُبْصِرُونَ. Leave them, ignore them for some time, just keep doing what you're doing. وَأَبْصِرْهُمْ فَسَوْفَ يُبْصِرُونَ أَفَبِعَذَابِنَا يَسْتَعْجِلُونَ فَإِذَا نَزَلَ بِسَاحَتِهِمْ فَسَاءَ صَبَاحُ الْمُنذَرِينَ. When azab comes, they're going to have a rough time. And وَتَوَلَّ عَنْهُمْ حَتَّى حِينٍ وَأَبْصِرْ فَسَوْفَ يُبْصِرُونَ. Finally, سُبْحَانَ رَبِّكَ رَبِّ الْعِزَّةِ عَمَّا يَصِفُونَ وَسَلَامٌ عَلَى الْمُرْسَلِينَ وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Allah is part, pure, holy from what they ascribe to Allah. They say al-malaikatu banatullah, malaika daughters of Allah. Allah doesn't have any son, He doesn't have any daughter, He doesn't need any sons or daughters. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Salam upon all Rasools. And finally, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. This is a brief summary of Surah Al-Safat. So, we start the surah with وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا. By those malaika who stand in saf in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In one hadith, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَلَا تَصُفُّونَ كَمَا تَصُفُّ الْمَلَائِكَةُ عِنْدَ رَبِّهَا. Do you not stand in rows like the malaika stand in rows in the presence of their Rabb? Sahaba asked, وَكِيفَ تَصُفُّ الْمَلَائِكَةُ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم يتمون الصف الأول فالأول ويتراصون في الصف. They complete the first rows first and they stand together in the saf. They don't leave any gaps in between. So we have to complete the first rows first, and we shouldn't leave any gaps in between. Stand shoulder to shoulder. This is the way, the manner of malaika standing in the saf before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا, by the malaika who stand in rows in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ये इब्न कसीर ने नकल की है सही मुस्लिम के हवाले से. मुस्लिम शरीफ में ये तो इब्न कसीर ने नकल की है. हाँ मुस्लिम शरीफ ही में. हाँ
वो समा खींचा है जो जिहाद के अंदर सब.
हाँ वो भी वही बता रहा हूँ मैं. ये एक तफसीर तो उसकी ये हुई कि वस्साफ़ात सफ़ा, वो फरिश्ते जो अल्लाह के हुजूर में सफ़ बांध कर खड़े रहते हैं. ये दो हदीस तो ऐसी ही तायीद में लाए हैं, तफसीर में नहीं. तफसीर में तो वस्साफ़ात सफ़ा, भाई सफ़ बांधने वालों की कसम. By those who stand in rows. Who are those who stand in rows? One tafsir is the malaika. And following that, فَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا, by those who drive sharply. Zajar yazujuru, zajran के माना डांटना, to scold, और डांट करके सख्ती से निकालना. Now, فَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا, number one, it could mean those malaika who drive the clouds with rain, because there are malaika who look after those clouds and they have a whip by which they whip the clouds to move them from one place to the other, and that is where the thunder strikes. This is koda, birth. तो वो जो whip है उसको फज़्ज़ाजिरात ज़जरा. Some mufassirin say फज़्ज़ाजिरात ज़जरा, those malaika who extract the soul of the fusaq, fujjar, kuffar, disbelievers, and the soul does not want to come out of the body, so they have to drive it and they have to pull it through. This is फज़्ज़ाजिरात ज़जरा. So डांट डपट करके स्कोल्डिंग के साथ निकालने वाले फरिश्ते. And फत्तालियात ज़िक्रा, and those who recite the reminder. Recite reminder meaning when they are busy in their work, they are also busy in the zikr as well.
Yeah.
So at the same time, they are busy in the zikr. Some malaika are standing in rows and ibadat, tasbih, and other malaika are doing some work around the world, but at the same time, whatever work is assigned to them, they are busy in zikr as well. This is one tafsir. Then, what you mentioned, Dr. Saab, was Safat is Safa. Those mu'mineen, believers, who stand in saf, and their saf is in two places. One is saf fi salat, and the other is saf fil qital. So in both sufuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at those believers who are standing in the sufuf of qital, and Allah is well pleased with them that they are there to offer sacrifices of their lives for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is taking qasam of those sufuf, and Allah loves these two sufuf. But the saf in masjid, in salah, when you're waiting for the imam to start Allahu Akbar and you have straightened the rows, Allah loves that saf. And that saf which are ready to sacrifice and get into the battle, Allah is taking qasam of those saf. And for Zajirat Zajra would drive their horses, their rides, they drive them and move forward, and while they are doing that, Fattariyat Dhikra, they busy themselves in the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. So the indication is towards them. Some have said, Hazrat Maulana Idris Kandalwi Rahmatullah Alayhi writes that इससे उलमाए रब्बानियीन भी मुराद हो सकते हैं कि उलमाए रब्बानियीन, the group and the jamaat of ulama who stand in rows and who are busy in khidmat of deen, and fazzajirat zajra, who sit on the mimbar and then deliver khutbahs, and in that khutbah they have to get they have to get angry as well, and they have to make sure they get the message through. They are really concerned. तो उसमें ज़ज्र भी करना पड़ता है, मनहियात और गुस्सा भी दिखाना पड़ता है, जोर से बोलना पड़ता है. तो ये जो कैफियत जब इंसान अम्र बिल मारूफ नही अनिल मुनकर के लिए खड़ा होता है, जो जोश जो आ जाता है, तो उसको अल्लाह ने कहा कि वो झिड़क कर जोश में अपनी बात बयान करते हैं. तो उलमा की उस जमात की कसम. और फत्तालियात ज़िक्रा, साथ ही वो अल्लाह के ज़िक्र में भी मस्त रहते हैं. तो उन उलमाए रब्बानियीन, मशाइख, सुलहा, अहलुल्लाह, और those ulama, Allah Pak is taking their qasam. So all three tafsirs can be taken into consideration over here. Allah Pak, after taking these qasams of those who form rows and those who drive sharply and those who recite the reminder and the zikr of Allah, Fattaliyat zikra, it could be indication, could be towards Quran Pak. Quran Pak is zikr. Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun, who recite the reminder and zikr given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Pak said towards the end of the surah, wa inna lanahnu al-musabbihun. Farishtas are busy in the tasbih and the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, inna ilahakum lawahid. Definitely your ilah is but one ilah. Your ilah is one ilah. The mushrikeen, they could not comprehend that there could be only one God who could look after the whole universe. They would say that we need at least a couple of 100 gods who get together and they look after the universe. So they had 360 various idols. So their mind was attached to these statues and idols, and they would think that it is these idols who are doing all the work. हाँ 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 मल्टीट्यूड बेशुमार. और आजकल जो हमारा हिंदू धर्म है हमारे यहाँ, तो वो लोग तो कहते हैं कि 33 करोड़ देवी देवता है. या खुदा, they need 33 crore Devi Devdas to look after the world. Allah Ta'ala is saying, Inna ilahakum lawahid. Under qasam, Allah is under qasam. Allah is under oath. One is that a human being is under oath in the witness box in the court. Over here, Allah is under oath. And Allah is saying with qasam, 3 qasams, that Inna ilahakum lawahid. Indeed, qasam ke baad inna bhi hai. Qasam ke baad jawab qasam mein inna, beshak, inna ilahakum, beshak, indeed, without doubt. And verily, your ilah, your God is only one God. They used to say, Aja'al al-alihata ilahum wahida, inna hadha la shay'un ujab. And how can it be possible? All ma'boods come into one. Allah said, no, I'm saying, qasam, inna ilahakum la wahid. And who is that ilah? You have underestimated his powers. Rabbus samawati wal ard, wa ma baynahuma, wa rabbul mashariq. He is the Rabb of the heavens and the earth and whatever is in between, and the Rabb of the easts, where the sun rises. Now, look at the 7 heavens. It's massive, huge. And in the universe, you have the sun, the moon, the stars, and you have the malaika who we have talked about. Huge malaikas, millions and billions and trillions and zillions of malaika. Now imagine how powerful Allah will be who created all these. How powerful will Allah? Allah is Allah who made all these. The sun, the moon, the heavens, the malaika. He is the Rabb. He is the creator of the heavens, the earth, and whatever is in the earth and whatever is in between. Now in the earth you will get many millions of creatures besides human beings. Animals, fishes, birds. Allah is the creator of each and every single thing. And Rabbul Mashariq, He is the Rabb of the universe, where the suns rise from. Allah didn't mention Magharib over here, only Mashariq, because we are talking about Uluhiyyat. And there are many people who used to worship the sun. Now sun is worshipped because it rises with light. So they worship it because it's bringing light. So Allah didn't need to mention ghurub because they didn't worship it because of its ghurub. They used to worship it because of its rising and bringing light. That's why Allah only mentioned Rabbul Mashariq. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the other topic.
It has been mentioned Magharib.
In another place, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِرَبِّ الْمَشَارِقِ وَالْمَغَارِبِ إِنَّا لَقَادِرُونَ. But this is the hikmat.
प्लूरल का जो सेगा है
हाँ
इसमें कवाकिब के सेट होने का जो टाइम है
हाँ
उससे ज़्यादा तुलु होने को तरजीह दी
जी जी
तुलु की तरफ।
हाँ
उसकी वजह यह है कि जो गुरूब होता है वल्लाहु आलम, शाह साहब ने अपनी तफसीर में बताया है कि ये ज़रूरी है कि गुरूब को, यानी जिस चीज़ को गुरूब हो जाता है अल्लाह की ज़ात से उसको ये करने के बजाय मशारिक़ी का जिक्र किया।
सही है।
दूसरे मल्टीपल पॉइंट्स हैं ये मशारिक़ के।
इंशाल्लाह नमाज बाद हम इसको कवर करते हैं। नमाज बाद इंशाल्लाह 15 मिनट।